Welcome to the Deep Dive. Today, we're plunging headfirst into one of history's most terrifying and, well, enduring mysteries, the Zodiac Killer.
I mean, this still gives people chills.
Absolutely. Even decades later, right? This figure terrorized California, left this trail of cryptic clues, but we still don't really know who he was. His identity is just shrouded in this chilling darkness.
And it keeps coming back up.
It does. You might have even seen some recent buzz online, maybe on TikTok. Claims from someone suggesting their own grandfather, Richard Hoffman, could be the notorious killer.
Right. That reignited a lot of interest in the case that's haunted investigators for, over 50 years now?
Exactly. And this case, it's different, isn't it? It's not just about the acts themselves, horrible as they were.
No, it's about how he engaged, how he played this twisted psychological game.
Yeah, manipulating the media, taunting law enforcement. It was something else. Okay, let's unpack this then. Today we're diving deep into one of history's most chilling cold cases, the Zodiac Killer. Our mission isn't just to revisit the terror, though we will.
We have to.
We have to. But we also want to meticulously sift through the information, the evidence, the theories, all the things that have kept detectives and amateur sleuths guessing for half a century.
Tried to piece it together.
We'll explore the known attacks, try to decode those bizarre, cryptic messages, and critically examine the most compelling individuals ever suspected, all to uncover the true depths of this enduring mystery.
Yeah, because this wasn't just about taking lives. He wanted to control the whole narrative, didn't he?
Absolutely. Control the narrative of terror itself.
It's a case that truly stands apart because of that deliberate engagement. You know, with the public, with the authorities.
It wasn't just bragging.
No, not typical killer bragging at all. It felt more like, well, psychological warfare. Unprecedented, really, for the time.
Like a performance artist of terror.
That's a good way to put it. Using his communications to exert control, amplify the fear, he forced law enforcement to adapt to a whole new kind of adversary.
That's a crucial point. And to really get the scope of that terror, we have to go back to the beginning. The first chilling strokes of what would become the Zodiac's reign.
Where did it start?
Our story starts December 20, 1968, Benicia, California, a place called Lake Herman Road.
Right, I know the area.
It was a well-known spot back then, a classic lover's lane just outside Vallejo, kind of secluded. Young couples would go there for privacy.
Feeling safe in their cars, under the cover of night.
Yeah.
Vulnerable.
Exactly. And the victims, it just makes it worse. They couldn't have been more innocent.
Betty Lou Jensen, just 16, an honor student. People who knew her called her a literal angel.
And David Faraday, 17, an Eagle Scout on the wrestling team, active in his church, just good kids.
On their first date, a classic innocent teenage night out.
It's that image, isn't it? Youthful innocence just shattered. It really sets the stage for how terrifying these crimes were.
The heartbreaking irony.
Yeah. So around 11 p.m. that night, an unknown assailant approaches their parked car.
Just walks up.
Seems like it. Initial shots were fired, but they actually missed, which sent David and Betty Lou scrambling, trying to escape through the passenger door.
Oh, God.
David, trying to get away, was struck in the head. A .22 rifle.
And Betty Lou.
She managed to run, fleeing into the darkness. But she was pursued, shot 6 more times, 5 hit her in the back as she was desperately trying to escape. She fell about 33 feet from the car.
Horrifying, just running for her life.
And the killer just drove off. A passing motorist found their bodies maybe 10 minutes later, around 11:10 p.m.
That quick.
Yeah. Betty Lou sadly lost her life right there at the scene.
And David.
He was still breathing when they found him, but he passed away later at the hospital.
And no motive, nothing.
At the time, no apparent motive. Investigators just described the killer as a madman. The initial investigation went on for 7 months.
Nothing came of it.
The trail eventually ran completely dry. It just seemed like this isolated, senseless act of violence, a horrifying anomaly.
But it wasn't isolated.
No. That haunting silence lasted 7 months, but then the killer resurfaced. Bolder. And suddenly it wasn't just one act, it was a pattern.
When is the next one?
July 4th, 1969, Independence Day, at Blue Rock Springs Park, another popular lover's lane, just 3 miles from the first attack.
Same MO, man.
Pretty much.
Mm.
The victims this time were Darlene Ferrin, 22. She was a popular restaurant worker, married, had a baby. And Michael Mageau, He was 19.
Darlene's situation,
Well-
wasn't that a bit complicated?
It was. She was married but also had a boyfriend, and that actually caused some confusion early on. Detectives explored domestic angles,
A potential red herring?
Exactly. It diverted resources maybe from the real nature of the threat.
So what happened that night?
Well, after 11:30 p.m., Darlene and Michael were parked. A car pulls up nearby, sat there for a bit, drove off.
Weird.
Then it came back minutes later. The driver gets out, shines a flashlight right into their car.
Okay.
Darlene apparently thought it was a police officer, so she rolled down her window.
Oh.
It wasn't a cop. The driver pulls out a 9mm Luger, a powerful pistol, and just opens fire inside the car.
My God.
Darlene was hit in the neck, Michael in the arm. Michael, incredibly, tried to escape, but the door handle, it was either missing or removed. They were trapped.
You remove the door handle? That's premeditated.
It suggests planning, absolutely. Can you imagine that terror? Trapped in your car, shots flying, can't get out?
Unthinkable.
The attacker then walked away, but he heard Michael screaming, struggling.
So he came back.
He came back, fired 4 more shots, 2 for each victim, then drove off.
Just like that.
Not long after, around 12:20 a.m., 3 teenagers found the couple. Darlene sadly didn't make it. But Michael,
He survived.
remarkably, yes, he survived, and he's truly one of the pivotal figures in this whole story.
Absolutely. Because he saw the attacker.
Yeah.
What's fascinating here is how specific Michael's description was, offering the first real glimpse of this guy.
Right, what did he say?
He described, a white man. Large face, kind of heavy set, maybe 195, 200 pounds, about 5'8", short, curly, light brown hair.
Mm-hmm.
Even mentioned a bit of a potbelly.
Wow, that's quite detailed considering the trauma he just went through.
Exactly. And dark clothes, no glasses. It was the first real picture they had, the first tangible lead into who this phantom might be.
And then came the moment that really gave birth to the Zodiac name itself.
The phone call.
The phone call. Around 12:40 a.m., just 20 minutes after police arrived at Blue Rock Springs, the Vallejo Police Department gets this chilling call from a nearby payphone only 2 blocks away.
What did the caller say?
In this calm, flat voice, basically delivered a statement that must have sent shivers through the department. I want to report a double murder. Kids in a brown car, shot with a 9mm Luger. I also killed those kids last year. Goodbye.
Whoa. Linking the 2 attacks himself.
The very first time. Chillingly confirming what investigators were probably just starting to suspect, and the terrifying part.
Let me guess. No prints.
That phone booth had been meticulously wiped clean.
This self-identification linking the crimes, it shows such deliberate intent, control.
Yeah, it's a shift, isn't it? From just violence to a taunting agenda.
He wasn't just committing crimes, he was announcing them, claiming ownership, starting this twisted dialogue with everyone.
It forced police to think differently, right? Dealing with someone who wanted recognition.
Exactly, a paradigm shift.
And it didn't stop there. About a month later, things escalated again.
The letters.
The letters. 3 major Bay Area newspapers, the San Francisco Chronicle, the Vallejo Times-Herald, the San Francisco Examiner, they each get these handwritten letters, taking credit.
And proving it was him.
Oh, yeah. These weren't just random boasts. They had specific, unreleased details, stuff only the killer would know. The exact brand of ammo, the number of shots fired, even the victims' positions, what they were wearing.
Okay, undeniable then.
And the letters came with a demand, a chilling demand. They insisted the newspapers publish these accompanying ciphers he included.
Ciphers, like codes.
Exactly, cryptograms. And he threatened a kill rampage if they didn't publish them. This is the moment. The first time he identifies himself as the Zodiac.
Wow. So the name came from him. And the ciphers. That's a new element, a direct challenge.
To law enforcement, to the public's intellect. The first one, known as Z408, had 408 symbols.
And did they solve it?
Remarkably, yes, and fast. A seemingly ordinary couple, Donald and Betty Hardin from Salinas. They were just amateur cartographers, apparently really into it.
And they cracked it.
In just 20 hours, using old-school pencil and paper methods. Incredible. What did it say?
It was disturbing. A glimpse into this profoundly twisted mind. I like killing because it is so much fun. Man is the most dangerous animal. When I die, I will be reborn in paradise, and those I have killed will become my slaves.
Slaves. Wow. Okay, so this chilling confession from Z408 gave a glimpse into his thinking, but it was just the start of these cryptic challenges.
He wasn't just taking lives, he was building this terrifying narrative.
Yeah.
Almost mythological.
Like a self-proclaimed supervillain, announcing his grand design. It resonated, didn't it, in that era of social change, made him unique.
And this was just the beginning of his public performance. His confidence, or maybe his ego, it just seemed to grow.
Yeah, his methods escalated too, moving beyond just firearms, more personal, more brutal attacks. Which brings us to September 27, 1969, Lake Berryessa.
Ah, the stabbing. This one introduced a whole new level of theatricality and brutality.
The victims were Brian Hartnell, 20, a sociology student, and Cecilia Shepard, 22. They'd picked this secluded peninsula at Lake Berryessa for a quiet picnic. Beautiful spot.
Turned into a scene of horror. That isolation made them incredibly vulnerable.
And the attacker! This wasn't just some random guy jumping out. He approached them wearing an executioner-style hood.
It's a hood, right? The zodiac symbol.
Yeah, the cross-circle symbol emblazoned right on his chest. It added this theatrical, almost ritualistic feel. He had a gun and a long, menacing knife.
Related.
And what's really disturbing, he used pre-cut rope to tie them up.
Pre-cut. So he came prepared for this.
Speaks volumes about premeditation, right? Cold, calculating. Brian apparently tried to talk to him, even mentioned reading about the criminal mind, trying to de-escalate.
Did it work?
No. With no warning, the man just plunged the knife into Brian's back. 6 times.
Oh, God.
Cecilia struggled, and she was stabbed repeatedly. 10 times total. 5 front, 5 back.
Vicious.
The attacker left, and Brian, incredibly, played dead.
Quick thinking.
Amazing quick thinking. He then managed to untie himself and then untied Cecilia. A fisherman and a son heard their screams, rushed to help.
Were they?
Both were still alive when found. But Cecilia, tragically, passed away later at the hospital. Brian, despite severe injuries, survived. His account was invaluable.
He got a good look, despite the hood.
Well, he provided crucial details, described the man as 5'8" to 6 foot tall, heavy set, maybe 225, 250 pounds, dark brown hair visible through the eye holes.
Yeah, the voice.
He noted a unique way of talking. Sources differ a bit. Some say a drawl or accent, others slow, monotone, but he was distinctive.
Any other evidence?
Yes. Big evidence. Visible footprints. Size 10.5. Consistent with military wing walker boots. Wing walker boots. Specific.
Very specific. Distinctive flat sole pattern leaves an identifiable print. And the blade description, bayonet type, 9 to 11 inches long. More clues.
And just like before, he couldn't wait to tell someone.
The call again. Almost an hour after the Berryessa attack, a man calls the Napa Sheriff's Department from a payphone 27 miles away.
What did he say this time?
Chillingly stated, "I want to report a murder. No, a double murder. I'm the one that did it."
Just like that. Brazen confession.
Stunningly brazen. They lifted a wet palm print from the phone. Critical evidence. Frustratingly, never matched to a suspect. Payphones wiping them down.
He was careful.
Okay, so that's Berryessa. 2 weeks later, he strikes again, and this time, it's right in the city.
San Francisco, October 11, 1969. Paul Stein, a 29-year-old cab driver. He was actually a PhD student, too.
Picked up a passenger downtown. The fare took him to Presidio Heights, a quieter, upscale neighborhood, Washington and Cherry Street. And at that intersection, the passenger shot steam. In the head. 9mm gun.
And there were witnesses.
Yes, crucially. 3 teenagers across the street saw what happened next. They watched the killer calmly take Stein's wallet, his keys, and a piece of his bloodstained shirt.
A trophy.
A macabre trophy. The teenagers saw the killer's face clearly as he left the cab. This was the most direct visual anyone had. Should have been the moment.
But it wasn't. Because of the blunder.
The monumental police blunder. Haunted the investigation for decades.
What happened?
The teenagers called 911 immediately. Described a white man, dark jacket. But the dispatcher mistakenly broadcast a lookout for a black adult male.
Oh, no.
Yeah,
Seriously?
Seriously. So 2 patrol officers, Don Fook and Eric Selms, they actually encountered a white man walking near the scene. A man fitting the description the teens actually gave.
They saw him, talked to him.
They spoke to him, asked if he'd seen anything suspicious. He said, yeah, saw a guy with a gun heading east. The officers, thinking they were looking for black man, just sped off in the wrong direction.
Letting the Zodiac literally walk away.
He walked right past them. And Zodiac himself, he couldn't resist rubbing it in later.
Oh, he mentioned it.
Yeah, in a letter. Claimed he was the guy they talked to, mocking them, basically, for the goof, as he called it, openly mocking their incompetence.
Unbelievable. Highlights how critical those small errors are.
Absolutely. And they found another piece of evidence in the cab. A bloody handprint, not Stein's. Another frustrating, unmatched clue.
So 2 days after Stein's murder, the San Francisco Chronicle gets another letter.
Claiming responsibility.
And proving it. Chillingly, it included that piece of Stein's blood-stained shirt. Undeniable proof.
But the horror didn't stop there, did it?
No. The letter contained a threat that just sent shivers through the whole community, caused widespread panic.
The school bus threat.
School children make nice targets. I think I shall wipe out a school bus some morning. Just shoot out the front tire and then pick off the kiddies as they come bouncing out.
Just pure terror. This raises that important question again. How much did he crave the attention versus the act itself? This manipulation was key to his terror.
Police and media had this agonizing choice, right? Publish the threat, feed his ego, maybe incite him, or withhold it, risk public safety.
A terrible dilemma. What did they do?
The Chronicle published it, and it led to absolute panic.
I can imagine.
It was pandemonium. Napa Valley Unified School District put extra men, armed police on school buses. Helicopters followed buses overhead.
Helicopters.
Yeah.
For school buses.
Yeah. Imagine being a kid seeing that. Bus drivers got explicit instructions on what to do if attacked. The fear just swept the community. It showed how effectively he used the media to amplify everything, turned everyday life into a landscape of fear.
He clearly craved the spotlight. That was shown again, October 22nd, 1969. He called Oakland PD.
Demanding to speak to Melvin Belli, the famous lawyer.
Yeah, on a TV talk show. He called the show 35 times. 12 calls actually aired.
And he gave a name.
When they asked, he just said Sam. Clearly wanted that public platform.
But this call, it became confusing, right? A red herring.
It did. They brought in people who had heard the Zodiac. Nancy Slover, the dispatcher from the Blue Rock Springs call, Officer Slate, who might have seen him after the Stein incident, and Brian Hartnell, the Berryessa survivor.
What did they say?
All three agreed, unequivocally. The voice on TV, Sam, was much deeper and older than the Zodiac they remembered.
So it wasn't him.
Further investigation confirmed it. The calls were actually coming from Napa State Hospital. A mental patient was making them.
Not the Zodiac.
Definitely not.
Oh.
And this was later confirmed in the Z340 cipher. The Zodiac himself denied being the Sam caller.
Which is fascinating, isn't it? He's so aware of his public persona, he's correcting misrepresentations, meticulously managing his terrifying brand.
Exactly. His mind was this cryptic labyrinth. And those ciphers, they were the keys he taunted everyone with. Always just out of reach.
The cryptograms, the symbols, even the weird misspellings, they became central to the mystery, a direct challenge.
Indeed. A direct intellectual challenge. We talked about Z408, the first one, 408 symbols, solved quickly by the Hardens.
Right, the amateur cryptographers. And the message was chilling, liking, killing, slaves for the afterlife. His initial declaration.
A terrifying glimpse into his warped philosophy.
But that was just the start. He was crafting this narrative, correcting people about Sam. The next cipher, Z340, that was a much harder nut to crack.
That it was. The Z340 340 characters sent November 8th, 1969. It was an astonishingly difficult puzzle.
How long did it take to solve?
51 years. It remained unsolved for 5 decades.
51 years, incredible. Who finally cracked it?
The breakthrough came in December 2020. An international team of private citizens, David Orenchak, an American software engineer, Sam Blake, an Australian mathematician, and Jarl van Eyck, a Belgian programmer.
How did they do it?
They used software,
Yeah.
AZCrypt, advanced algorithms testing, I think it was 650,000 possible key variations and patterns, a massive digital effort combined with smart cryptanalysis.
Wow. Imagine the dedication. And the message, after half a century. Was it worth the wait?
It was. Equally bizarre and self-referential. Let me see if I have it here. I hope you were having lots of fun in trying to catch me that wasn't me on the TV show, which to bring up a point about me, I'm not afraid of the gas chamber because it will send me to Paradise all the sewer because Uddy now have enough slaves to work for me where everyone else has nothing when they reach paradise, so they are afraid of death. I'm not afraid because I know that my new life will be an easy one in paradise death.
Lots of misspellings in there, too.
Deliberate, most likely. But look at the content. He explicitly denies being Sam, reiterates the desire for slaves in paradise, and this belief that execution would just fast-track him to his twisted afterlife.
It's incredibly revealing, obsessed with this image, correcting misconceptions, reinforcing that core motive, the slaves in paradise.
Suggests profound egomania, a belief system, maybe cult-like, rationalizing these horrific acts as means to a warped spiritual end, adds this disturbing psychological depth.
And there were other ciphers, too, right? Still unsolved.
Beyond those two, yeah. He sent others that still baffle people. Z13, April 1970. Started, my name is, still unsolved.
Frustrating.
It's the biggest question.
Yeah.
Then Z32, in June 1970, saying, I have become very upset. That one was later sent with a Halloween card in October 70 to Paul Avery, the reporter.
The peekaboo you are doomed card.
That's the one. It also had symbols, a Z, the cross circle, and a third unknown one. Something that looks like mountain peaks, maybe related to a bomb location.
A bomb location? He sent bomb threats, too.
Oh, yeah. He wasn't just threatening, he was detailing. A letter on November 9, 1969 included a bomb diagram.
What kind of bomb?
Used ammonium nitrate fertilizer, stove oil, and gravel. ANFO, basically.
Yeah.
Relatively crude but potent. He listed specific ingredients investigators could track, showed planning.
And he mentioned where it was.
He taunted them, said what you do not know is whether the death machine is at the site or whether it is being stored in my basement for future use.
His basement. That's specific.
Very. Especially since basements are pretty uncommon in the Bay Area. Potentially narrows down his residence type, a critical piece of geographical info.
These diagrams, the threats, it suggests a desire not just to take lives, but inflict widespread terror, show off some perverse expertise.
Absolutely. If we connect this to the bigger picture, it's significant planning.
Okay, let's unpack this other thing. The deliberate misspellings throughout the letters. We saw them in the Z340, quote, Christmas, Paradise, Sloy, Dangeroo. Were these just mistakes or clever clues?
That's been debated a lot. Several theories. Some think he did it intentionally to make the ciphers harder, avoiding repeated letters, common patterns cryptographers look for.
Makes sense.
Others think it was to mislead, make investigators think he was uneducated, maybe underestimate him.
Like a false trail.
Right. There was even a theory it was mockery, using old spellings to correct modern language. But words like sloy for slow, that doesn't fit any historical spelling pattern. Kind of debunks that specific idea.
So probably intentional.
The consistency across letters strongly suggests intent, not just errors. A deliberate part of his obfuscation strategy.
And as if the confirmed count wasn't bad enough, he boasted about more victims, right? Inflated the numbers.
Constantly. March 71 letter, he claimed 17 people. Then the Exorcist letter, January 74, he jumps it up to 37.
P37 SFPD 0, famous line.
Infamous. But skepticism is high about those numbers.
Why?
Well, he proved the confirmed murders, right? Said the short piece. But he rarely provided similar proof for these other alleged killings.
So it was just boasting. Or worse.
It felt like a deliberate strategy. So maximum panic, frustrate investigators, make it impossible to know the real scale of his terror. And he later said he'd stop announcing them, make them look like routine robberies, fake accidents.
Which makes it impossible to verify anything beyond the confirmed ones. Did he just disappear? Or did he continue uncredited, disguised as something mundane?
That's a haunting question. It leaves you wondering.
That thought alone. Yeah, keeps you up at night. And for decades, the hunt has been relentless, leading investigators, amateur sleuths down so many paths, often converging on a few key suspects. Let's start with the big one, the name most people know, Arthur Lee Allen.
Allen, former elementary school teacher, disturbing past convicted child molester. He was the only suspect publicly named by police. And Robert Graysmith, the cartoonist turned author who researched the case heavily.
His books really focused on Allen.
Yeah, cemented him in the public mind as the prime suspect. Allen had this known dark side, fit the public's image of a monster.
The circumstantial evidence against him, it's incredibly compelling, almost too perfect sometimes, you know?
It is striking. He lived just minutes from Darlene Ferrin's home, minutes from the first Lake Herman road site.
And the watch.
The Zodiac watch, received it for Christmas, 1967, featured the exact cross-circle symbol the killer later used.
Can you imagine finding that out? It feels like a villain introducing himself. From an investigator's view, how did that detail land?
It was definitely unsettling. A coincidence that immediately piqued serious interest. And beyond that, his friend, Don Chaney.
Chaney's testimony was huge.
Critical. Claimed Allen told him his detailed plan to kill couples, taunt police with letters, use the name Zodiac. Even mentioned using a flashlight for night shooting, writing a novel about it.
And Chaney reported this.
He did, to the police. Made Allen a person of interest very early. Allen was questioned multiple times. And in a 71 interview, he admitted having bloody knives on the day of the Lake Berryessa attack.
What was his excuse?
Claimed it was from slaughtering a chicken. Very convenient, if a bit flimsy.
A very convenient excuse. And the connections kept piling up. The bomb diagrams.
Police found handwritten bomb diagrams in Allen's basement. Same ingredients, Zodiac listed. Ammonium nitrate fertilizer, gravel, ANFO components.
And the basement itself. You said basements were uncommon. Zodiac mentioned one. Allen had one.
Another chilling link, his shoe size, 10.5 matched the Berryessa prints. He owned a knife similar to the one used there.
His background, too. Fired for child molestation, dishonorably discharged from the Navy.
He had a disturbing profile. Described as fixated on young children and angry at women. And the timing of the letters is really suspicious.
How so?
Last verified Zodiac letter, March 71. Allen gets interviewed, August 71. Then silence. No letters for 2.5 years.
Until?
Letters resume in 74. But then Allen gets arrested for child molestation in 74. And after that, no more proven Zodiac letters.
So the letters stopped twice when police focused on him.
Highly suspicious.
Yeah.
Statistically unlikely to be a coincidence.
And then years later, the survivor ID, mid-1992, Mike Mageau from Blue Rock Springs.
He identified Allen from a lineup, stated that's him, he's the man that shot me.
That sounds definitive. Why wasn't it?
That's the crucial question. Because the counter evidence is also significant. And ultimately, for law enforcement, it was too problematic.
Like what? Forensics.
Primarily, Allen's handwriting, his DNA from stamps, didn't conclusively match the Zodiac's known samples. Police cited this as the main reason he was ruled out. Forensic evidence, even primitive then, carried weight.
Okay, that's big. What else?
Physical description issues. Allen was 6 foot tall, described as looking much older than the attacker, Mageau. Mageau and Hartnell described, they said, younger, 5'8" to 6 men, heavy set.
So discrepancies there. I mean, how frustrating is that? All these compelling coincidences, the ID, but the forensics and description create doubt.
Exactly. Some speculate Allen was ambidextrous, wrote letters with his non-dominant hand to disguise it, a common trick, but impossible to prove definitively.
It's enough to make you tear your hair out. Okay, so Allen wasn't the only strong suspect. Let's talk Lawrence Kane, often called the survivor's choice.
Right, because of Kathleen Johns. She escaped that attempted abduction in March 1970, and she unequivocally identified Kane from a photo lineup as the man who took her.
And the Zodiac mentioned that abduction later.
He did, in a letter, almost claiming credit. That's a huge link. Plus, Darlene Ferrin's sister claimed Kane had harassed Darlene at a restaurant before she lost her life. Suggests a potential chilling connection beyond just chance.
Even Officer Fook, the one who saw the Zodiac near the Stein scene.
He stated that out of hundreds of pictures he'd seen, Kane was the closest likeness to the killer he remembered from that brief encounter.
What was Kane's background? Any red flags?
Some troubling details. Suffered a traumatic brain injury in 1962. Reports said it led to impulse control issues, erratic behavior, history of voyeurism, prowling arrests, hinted at a darker side.
And the Donna Lass connection.
Another potential link. Kane lived and worked at the same South Lake Tahoe hotel as Donna Lass, the nurse who disappeared in 1970. Her case was later linked by a Zodiac letter.
And there are cipher claims related to Kane, too.
More recent ones. A French engineer, Faisal Zerouet, claimed he solved Z13 as K. Maybe a typo for K, Kane's alternate spelling. And he claims the Z32 cipher gives coordinates leading to a school in South Lake Tahoe where Kane lived.
Interesting. But are these real clues? Or just trying to make the evidence fit a suspect?
That's the question you always have to ask with these later claims. And unfortunately, like Allen, Kane has significant counter evidence.
Forensics again.
DNA and fingerprints didn't match known Zodiac samples. Handwriting wasn't a match. And his physical description didn't really fit the earlier heavy-set Zodiac descriptions. The mystery deepens.
Okay, let's move to more recent theories. Gary Francis Post, named in 2021 by the Casebreakers team.
Right, an independent cold case group. Former law enforcement, military intelligence types. Their theory brought new witnesses, intriguing claims.
Yeah.
Definitely got people talking again.
What was their main evidence?
They had a whistleblower, supposedly an outlaw-turned Zodiac whistleblower named Will, claimed he saw Post burying weapons used in the killings up near the High Sierras.
Okay, what else?
A former neighbor claimed Post taught her to shoot a .22 as a toddler. Made similar gifts to members of his alleged posse he trained as killing machines.
A posse. Trained as killing machines. That sounds dramatic.
It does. An intel expert on their team, Eric Kleinsmith, claimed Post had a mechanism at home to make postage stamps to avoid tracking.
And physical evidence.
Post reportedly owned military-issued wing walker boots, matching the Berryessa prints. Forehead scars from a 1959 car crash allegedly matched marks on the police composite sketch, though that's debated.
Any behavioral links?
They claim the killing stopped when Post got married, suggesting a life change curtailed him. The founder, Thomas Colbert, even claimed 6 eyewitnesses, 3 with sworn affidavits, said Post told them he was the Zodiac.
Told them. Wow. Any cipher links?
They allege a cipher solution using Post's full name, And there's DNA from a domestic abuse incident involving Post, theoretically available for comparison.
Sounds compelling, but there are controversies.
Big ones. Riverside police dispute the link to Cherry Jo Bates' Post was a Pinker. A paint-splattered watch was found near Bates. The case breakers see a link, police don't. The FBI hasn't verified any DNA match from stamped saliva, which is crucial. And those alleged buried weapons, not retrieved yet. So intriguing but unproven.
Another suspect with strong but ultimately incomplete evidence. What about Richard Gaikowski? The voice match aspect is fascinating there.
It is. His coworker, known only as Goldcatcher, wrote these extensive letters accusing Gaikowski. Claimed he talked about violent acts, acted them out. But the voice match? That's striking.
Wait, what? A direct voice match from the initial call? That's insane.
Nancy Slover, the Vallejo dispatcher who took that first Zodiac call after Blue Rock Springs, she identified a recording of Gaikowski's voice as matching the Zodiac's.
That feels huge. So direct compared to sketches or handwriting.
It's incredibly direct evidence, and there was speculation the word GYKE in a cipher might be a nickname for Gaikowski. But
there's always a but.
A lot relied on Goldcatcher's claims, and some viewed him as, well, maybe not the most credible source, a conspiracy theorist, which undermines some compelling links.
Okay, one more main suspect to cover. Paul Dewar, the fanzine cryptographer. Intriguing background.
Yeah, North Bay resident, published fanzines. His age and height fit witness estimates. Place him in the pool.
What were the connections?
Multifaceted. He was part of the Minutemen, a right-wing militant group. They sent threatening letters using a symbol that looked a bit like the Zodiac's.
What else?
He showed this uncanny knowledge of the ANFO bomb formula. Referenced it in his fanzine, Pioneer. Ingredient Zodiac later used. That specific obscure knowledge is notable. Suggests technical proficiency.
And his interest in cryptography.
Deep. Published a cipher in a Tolkien fanzine, Hobbitalia, just days after Zodiac sent Z13. Some argue his cipher solution could link to Z13.
Any other links? Explaining the hood, maybe?
His interests might. He praised a medieval cosplayer group could explain the executioner hood vibe. Had a knife similar to the Berryessa weapon. Read The Strange Ways of Man, a book describing headhunters killing for slaves in the afterlife.
Purely similar to Zodiac's Slaves in Paradise motive.
Exactly. He also advocated using one stamps despite the USPS's Zodiac practice. And in a '74 letter to a neo-pagan magazine, he even hinted he'd killed people before, though ambiguous, like many Zodiac claims.
So each suspect, Allen, Kane, Post, Gaikowski, Dewar, they all present this compelling yet ultimately incomplete picture.
The hunt continues. Leaves everyone speculating, frustrated. No definitive answer.
The confirmed victims are horrifying enough, but his claims of more, plus other cold cases with similarities, it leaves this lingering, unsettling question. How many more lives did he really take, and why are these cases still unsolved?
That's where the Zodiac shadow really extends, beyond the confirmed 5. Numerous unconfirmed cases tentatively linked. Patterns that align, sometimes deviate. They contribute to the fear, the mystery.
Let's start with Cherry Jo Bates, October 30th, 1966, Riverside City College student, 18, stabbed.
Brutally. A typewritten confession letter was sent. Details only the killer would know. Zodiac himself later claimed credit in a '71 letter. Added her to his tally.
Evidence at the scene. The boot print, the watch.
Military boot print, paint-splattered watch. But Riverside PD remains skeptical about the Zodiac link. A later DNA test on Bates-related letters pointed to a troubled teen seeking attention, not the killer of Bates. So doubt about Zodiac's direct involvement there, though his claim remains contentious.
Okay. Then Robert Domingos and Linda Edwards, June 4th, 1963, high school couple, Santa Barbara County Beach.
This predates the known start, but the similarities are stark. Same .22 caliber weapon, Super X ammo as Lake Herman Road. Killer tried to bind them with pre-cut rope.
Like Berryessa.
Exactly. Even tried to burn their bodies. Zodiac later claims them too. Suggests maybe a longer, unacknowledged history.
And the swindles. Johnny Ray and Joyce Ann, February 64, San Diego.
Newlyweds, Ocean Beach. .22 caliber again. Items taken, wallet, watch. Same brand of watch as the Bates scene. Potential link across disparate crimes. Highlights the pattern. Young couples. Isolated spots. Specific weapons.
Kathleen Johns' experience, March 70, stands out because she survived.
And identified her attacker. Abducted with her baby after her car's lug nuts were loosened. Driven around for hours. Man saying, "You know I'm gonna kill you." She escaped. Car later found burned a Zodiac signature. And crucially, she ID'd the Zodiac sketch as her abductor. Direct link.
Then Donna Lass, Nurse, disappeared September 70, State Line, Nevada, Sahara Tahoe Casino.
A Zodiac-style letter, referred to her as Victim 12, included location details, tied her disappearance to his known communication pattern, and Lawrence Kane, our suspect, worked at the same hotel. Another potential unproven connection.
And there are others speculated, too. Melina and Rodriguez, 67, Hood and Garcia, 70, the Santa Rosa hitchhiker murders, 72, 73.
Right. Zodiac claimed 37 victims around then. Those cases, the astrological murders, often cited due to proximity MO similarities. These illustrate the potential breadth, if his claims were true. The sheer number of cold cases possibly linked, an agonizing tapestry of unanswered questions.
So with all this, information, clues, connections, near misses, circumstantial links, why, after all these decades, what he never definitively caught?
It's a multitude of reasons. Critical missteps, limitations of the era, police errors played a huge role. That San Francisco cab driver misidentification.
Broadcasting the wrong description.
Letting him slip through their fingers after Fook and Zelm spoke to him. A single error with massive repercussions sent officers the wrong way.
Lack of coordination, too.
Definitely a factor. Lack of interagency communication between different departments. Different jurisdictions operating independently. Hampered a coordinated response, sharing info that might have connected dots earlier.
And the era itself played a part. Forensics weren't what they are today.
Absolutely. Primitive technology, limited DNA, advanced fingerprinting wasn't there. Evidence that's conclusive now was less so then. Fingerprints collected, ballistics matched weapons, sure. But no DNA from a stamp, a hair. Routine now.
Handwriting analysis was big then.
Significant, but often inconclusive. Open to interpretation, hard to get a definitive match without a confession. And the killer's own cunning, his luck ever. Undeniable factors.
Choosing remote spots, wiping surfaces like the payphone.
Skillfully taunting, staying elusive. He understood how to control information, maintain anonymity.
Which leads to the final haunting question. Did he stop killing? Final confirmed letter, 1974. What are the theories?
They abound, each chilling. Maybe police got too close, spooked him into silence. Game got too dangerous.
Or the attention was enough.
Maybe the attention from letters, ciphers, substituted for the thrill. Public manipulation became the high. Or maybe he just got older, less able. Or institutionalized for something else, activities stopped without anyone knowing.
And the scariest theory?
That he simply changed his MO. Made murders look like routine robberies, fake accidents, just like he threatened.
Yeah.
And just continued, undetected, uncredited, blending to the fabric of everyday crime.
So we've journeyed through the terror. The innocent dates, the brazen attacks, the calls, the ciphers, explored the evidence, the red herrings, the unsettling connections to Allen, Kane, Post, Gaikowski, Dewar, each a potential face for this nightmare.
And this case, it resonates differently, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Because he actively engaged with the public, the press, with you, the listener. It's a testament to our need for answers when faced with this unmasked, untouchable evil, an adversary challenging society itself.
The toll on investigators.
Immense. Dave tells she reportedly suffered a bleeding ulcer. Speaks volumes about the sheer frustration, the obsessive nature of this unsolved mystery. It continues to define cold case investigations.
The Zodiac Killer. He turned the Bay Area into his stage. The hunt became this real-life psychological thriller. And the terrifying question that lingers isn't just, who was he?
But what if he truly did just disappear?
Yeah, into the fabric of everyday life. Continuing his acts, disguised as the mundane, forever uncredited, forever unproven. It's a chilling thought. How many more routine incidents could have been his dark handiwork, lurking in the shadows of unsolved crime, just waiting for someone someday to finally connect the dots?